This weekend, WWE presents the first ever two-night WWE SummerSlam Premium Live event from the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. There are several high-profile title matches and grudge matches set to take place at the biggest event of the summer, but in this countdown video, we're going to focus on 5 names that could be possibly set to make a big return on SummerSlam Sunday. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin today's countdown video, a reminder, we are just 20 subscribers away from 23,500 here at Wrestling News 365 on that long road to 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the WNU, that being the Wrestling News universe. Also, a reminder, we are going to be live for both nights of WWE SummerSlam this weekend, that being SummerSlam Saturday and also SummerSlam Sunday for watch-alongs and post-shows, so be sure to join us on both nights. Now, in this countdown video, we are going to be discussing some potential major returns that we could see on night 2 of WWE SummerSlam. Of course, this is the first ever two-night WWE SummerSlam PLE, taking place on August 2nd and August 3rd from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And let's get into 5 possible names that could be set to return on SummerSlam Sunday, beginning with Tammer Tonga. Now, on Sunday at the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, there will be a WWE United States Championship match, which we'll see, of course, Bloodline collide as Solo Sikoa defends the WWE United States Championship in a rematch from Night of Champions against former champion Jacob Fatu, this side in time of a steel cage. Now, the reason that Tammer Tonga could be set to return, of course, we have seen several returns. Of course, the returns actually began at Night of Champions last month when we saw Tammer Tonga's brother, Tonga Loa, make his return in the United States Championship match. And we also saw the debut of Tammer Tonga, which, of course, led to Sikoa winning the WWE United States Championship. Now, whilst many think Jacob Fatu is likely to win back his WWE United States Championship, and many do think that the steel cage stipulation is a way to keep the bloodline out, of course, that being Tammer Tonga's brother, Tammer Tonga, and Tonga Loa, as well as Solo Sikoa's MFT, of course, that being JC Mateo. You would think is a way to stop Jacob Fatu from getting interfered on by members of the MFT, but maybe Solo Sikoa's just got one more trick up his sleeve, and that being the return of Tammer Tonga. Now, we haven't seen Tammer Tonga since the SmackDown before WrestleMania. He was taken out by LA Knight in an angle on the WrestleMania Go Home episode of SmackDown. He got his hand slammed in a car door by the then WWE United States Champion prior to LA Knight's match against Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania for the US Championship, the match which Jacob Fatu won to become the US Champion. Now, we haven't seen Tammer Tonga since then. We never got any update or report as to what specifically the injury was to Tammer Tonga. He was written out with a hand injury, but we don't know if that is actually the case or not. So maybe WWE have purposely kept him back. They could have had everyone return at Night of Champions, but they decided to wait because they wanted to bring Tammer Tonga back at another date. That could be the case. Or it could be a situation whereby his injury was just a little bit more severe and they had to wait a little bit longer whilst he recovered, whilst he got cleared, and now might be the perfect time for him to come back and make Solo Sikoa's MFT actually whole. So don't be shocked if we see the former WWE champion, WWE Tag Team champion rather, make his return at night 2 of WWE SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium. Now, what about the Nigerian Giant? Of course, a must. Now, every single time we do a video talking about major returns for any WWE PLE, we talk about the Nigerian Giant a must because, well, frankly, he hasn't competed in WWE for quite some time, has he? We haven't seen Amos compete in WWE for well over a year at this point, right? Since when it comes to Amos, we haven't seen him compete since the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which of course was on the Go Home episode. It was on the Go Home episode of SmackDown prior to WrestleMania 40. Yes, we haven't seen him compete inside of a WWE ring, as I mentioned, since that Andre the Giant Memorial 2024 Battle Royal on the WrestleMania SmackDown. It was on April 5th, 2024. Now, since then, he has wrestled, Amos, largely in Pro Wrestling Noah. He didn't compete for the remainder of 2024. Earlier this year, he had a bit of an excursion in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, where he wrestled a few matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in Pro Wrestling Noah, and it was actually quite widely critically acclaimed. He won the GHC Tag Team titles along with Jack Morris. He had to vacate them because he was called back to WWE. Many thought because of the popularity that ensued of his run in Pro Wrestling Noah and because of the success that he found in the Far East, and this was going to be a situation whereby he was going to be brought back to WWE TV. That wasn't the case. We still have not seen Omos compete inside of a WWE ring since that aforementioned Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal back in 2024. Now, some have suggested that it's just a case of planning, or maybe Omos might have an excursion plan for AAA. We'll have to wait and see. But there are several matches where you could see Omos get involved this weekend. Maybe it's a situation where he returns in the match which sees Dominic Mysterio defend the Intercontinental Championship against Omos's former mentor, that being AJ Styles. Of course, he was a former tag team champion with AJ Styles, and there have been rumors recently that Dirty Dom could be set to become the AAA Mega Champion and really be the face of that company for WWE now that they've purchased it under the TKO umbrella. And maybe that coincides with Omos's planned excursion to AAA Lucha Libre in Mexico. Maybe we see a situation where Omos returns, costs AJ Styles the Intercontinental Championship, aligns with Dominic Mysterio, and there is a sort of Shawn Michaels Diesel-esque relationship that we see play out in AAA Lucha Libre in Mexico. So I wouldn't be totally surprised if Omos makes his return. He's not going anywhere in terms of outside of WWE anytime soon in terms of his contract status. He actually revealed in an interview earlier this year that despite not wrestling for WWE in the entire calendar year of 2025, and it being over a year since he stepped foot inside of a WWE ring on television, he did reveal he signed a new multi-year contract, and he's very happy to do so. So seemingly WWE does want to keep Omos, and they do have plans for him. I just don't know when they're going to be, how soon they're going to be. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he makes his grand return at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey this weekend. Pat McAfee. We haven't seen Pat McAfee since Money in the Bank. Pat McAfee, of course, the commentator for Raw's run on Netflix so far. He made his return to WWE in 2024 as part of his broadcast team with Michael Cole. But after having a match at Backlash against now World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, and then also being on commentary for WWE Money in the Bank, we haven't seen McAfee on WWE television. We saw Wade Barrett fill in for him on Raw, and then Corey Graves really on a regular basis fill in for him on Raw. Now McAfee later revealed that the real reason that he's on hiatus from WWE television is just he's worn out. He said that he hit a brick wall and his schedule was so crazy. Of course, we know we've got College Game Day coming up as we get further into this year. Now that we're into August, that's going to be coming up very soon, and there has been debate about whether McAfee can keep up his schedule. Of course, previously when he's been working on College Game Day, he hasn't been able to fulfill his WWE commitments, and usually we see him go on a hiatus from WWE TV and then return towards the end of the year going into WrestleMania season. Now, we could see a situation perhaps where McAfee returns for the big events. Previously, he has returned for big events such as the Royal Rumble to do commentary with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. We've seen him return for WrestleMania to do commentary with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, or just Michael Cole. We could see a situation where he returns to commentary for the SummerSlam PLE to do commentary alongside Michael Cole and Corey Graves, or alongside Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. We'll have to wait and see. Whether or not that's really fair is another point of contention. Of course, Corey Graves, it felt like he was demoted earlier this year from broadcasting on Raw, and he was pretty frustrated about that. He was deemed not famous enough to be a regular broadcaster on Raw in comparison to Pat McAfee when they was coming to Star Power on Netflix. Would they risk upsetting Corey Graves once again, particularly when his commentary on Raw in recent weeks has been so widely praised? But McAfee is a big star. He does have a lot of name recognition and wide reach. Maybe he's not as popular in the pro wrestling bubble as he was a couple of years ago, but Michael Cole is always very keen to work with him. So I wouldn't be totally shocked if maybe at least on one of the nights McAfee does make an appearance at MetLife Stadium and once again does commentary with his broadcast partner in WWE, that being Michael Cole. Travis Scott. Now, of course, the main event of Night 2 of WWE SummerSlam is a WrestleMania rematch. It is John Cena defending the undisputed WWE Championship against challenger Cody Rhodes. Of course, Rhodes earned the honor after winning the King of the Ring tournament this year. But unlike their WrestleMania 41 Night 2 main event, the SummerSlam main event of Night 2 is going to be a street fight. Now, how did the match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes end at WrestleMania? Well, of course, famously famously, or rather infamously, we saw a situation where Travis Scott appeared at WrestleMania and made a very long and laborious entrance with his WWE Hardcore Championship. He got involved. Cody Rhodes hit Travis Scott with a crossroads. That was enough to allow John Cena to hit Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship, winning his historic, never-seen 17th WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the process. Now, many had assumed there were plans for Travis Scott to continue working with WWE. Of course, he was a major part of the John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber, featuring also in the main event of WrestleMania. He'd collaborated with WWE in the past. He appeared on the Netflix premiere episode of WWE Raw. And as we just saw in the WWE Unreal docuseries on Netflix, Triple H said he wanted to plan this whole John Cena heel turn around Travis Scott. There have been rumors that his spot in WWE was given to him as a favor by the TKO CEO, owner of WWE and TKO, that being Ari Emanuel, who of course was the agent of Travis Scott. But there have been new reports suggesting Travis Scott's fallen out with WWE. So much so that he's planned to be integrated into the WWE 2K25 video game. That's no longer happening. So much so there were plans for him to work a match, possibly at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. That's not happening. So is this just a situation where the reports are real? Travis Scott has fallen out with WWE and they're just trying to distance themselves as far as possible from the rapper? Or, like WWE Unreal, is this all just one elaborate work? Has this all been one way to once again work the dirt sheets by WWE and they're going to have Travis Scott try and interfere again on John Cena's behalf? Are they actually going to go in this direction of a faction involving Cena or Travis Scott? We'll have to wait and see. It seems unlikely given recent reporting and given the fact that WWE is now kind of going out of their way to not mention Travis Scott on WWE television when they had done so previously. But never say never when it comes to WWE, and never say never when it comes to pro wrestling. Maybe Travis Scott decides that he does want to commit to WWE, and there's been plenty of major falling outs before when it comes to WWE and certain people they've worked with. Travis Scott returning would just be the latest line in a long line of people to have made up with World Wrestling Entertainment. And finally, if not Travis Scott, what about the final boss himself, The Rock? We haven't seen The Rock since Elimination Chamber. In fact, The Rock has been widely and roundly criticized for his role in the build-up to John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Of course, The Rock returned to WWE. He said he wanted Cody Rhodes' soul. He didn't get the soul of the American Nightmare. John Cena instead kicked Cody Rhodes below the belt and aligned with The Rock and aligned with Travis Scott. And many people thought this was going to be a modern-day NWO. We were going to have three of the most powerful stars of all of WWE, entertainment and music coming together and ruling roughshod not only over WWE, but just over entertainment as this faction. We found out very quickly that wasn't going to be the case. Travis Scott didn't want to commit. He fell out with WWE. And The Rock, basically, according to an interview he did on the Pat McAfee show shortly after Elimination Chamber, or certainly shortly after WrestleMania, picked up the phone and said to John Cena, I think I'm done. I think the final boss is done. I really wanted to work with Cody. I really wanted to do the whole thing about his soul. I actually did want Cody to turn heel, but Rhodes didn't want to do it. So yeah, I think I'm as far as it can go. Figure the rest out. And we didn't see The Rock at WrestleMania. We didn't see The Rock on WWE television. We had now seen on WWE Unreal that this was it was business between John Cena and The Rock, and maybe people did expect The Rock to continue to appear on WWE TV or make future appearances, but that's not the case. So could The Rock appear to make good on that and make all of this make sense? Or could The Rock appear because finally he's got what he wanted the first time round, which is Cody Rhodes' soul? He wanted, legitimately, Cody Rhodes to do a heel turn and work with him on WWE TV. This is something that has been alluded to, maybe teased in the last few weeks, and maybe this could be a parallel of what we saw at Elimination Chamber, what we saw at WrestleMania. John Cena had to resort to cheating to defeat Cody Rhodes and win the WWE Championship for a record-breaking 17th time. He had to resort to breaking and shattering all of his morals, all of his integrity, all of that hustle, loyalty, and respect, equity he had built up for 20 plus years. He had to side with The Rock. He had to cheat. He had to become a heel, something he said he would never do, and go to the dark side just to achieve what had been eluding him, that 17th championship. Maybe Cody Rhodes has to do the same thing. Maybe Cody Rhodes realized he made a mistake at Elimination Chamber. He should have sided with the final boss, and he could have got everything that he wanted and more. Maybe Cody Rhodes does finally align with the final boss, turns heel, and in the process, turn the heel John Cena into a babyface, because many are assuming that in this retirement run of John Cena, he's not going to be a heel the entire year. He's going to be a babyface once again because he's one of the most beloved babyfaces of all time. You can't have John Cena retire as a heel later on this year, so maybe this is the methodology to turn John Cena back into a babyface and Cody Rhodes into the biggest heel in the company, aligning with a final boss, and once again building up to a possible Cody versus Rock match at some point later on down the line. So The Rock returning, we know he's only going to return when it benefits himself. Maybe that actually happens this weekend at MetLife Stadium. So there you go, guys. There are 5 names that could possibly be set to return on Night 2 of WWE SummerSlam. What are your thoughts on this list? Which ones are more likely than others? Let me know your thoughts or reactions in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're just 20 subscribers away from 23,500. A reminder, we will be live for both nights of SummerSlam on Saturday and Sunday for watch-alongs and post-shows, so be sure to join us then. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.